Hello everyone, my name is the Mad Scorpion, and welcome to another This Week in Destiny update for May the 1st. Now getting into it, it does sound like they are getting us some previews of what is coming in terms of changes to the Sandbox, but aside from that, there is a bunch of stuff to go into, and apologies if I don't exactly have a normal tone. I'm just going to say it flat out, I am not exactly in a great state. Unfortunately, I did hear something that, to say the least, it did infuriate me beyond limits I would think I would have ever had. But I'm still going to do my best to get in the job, give my opinion, and get with this video. Now, of course, there was the rocks at our windows cinematic for the completion of the chess puzzle, or at least a specific section of the chess puzzle, and I'm going to be flat out blunt. This is incredibly underwhelming for a cinematic teaser, considering in less than a week we are getting the reveal stream of Fate of the Nine, whatever it was, the next DLC of Destiny, and they're telling us something's calling us. Well, we'll find out what that something is in 6 days. Why wasn't this cinematic like 4 weeks ago? Now, Edge of Fate, that's what it's called. The preview, once again, is going to be on the 6th, which is going to be Tuesday as always, and at 9 a.m. Pacific, there is that, and per the usual when it comes to these things, if you tune in for 15 minutes with your Bungie account linked to Twitch, you can receive this emblem and get it in-game. Now, there is the Heavy Metal Tournament, which is going to be featuring the Heavy Metal week of Briggs versus Tanks. If you wish to participate or follow along, there is a tournament going on between content creators. But then as well, if you, participate in creators, 8 selected teams, limited quantities of the emblem, they can give out a specific Drake, heavy metal emblem. Now we have a Sandbox preview to get through, which I'm going to blitz some of the specific details as fast as possible. Prismatic specific super cooldown penalty has been reduced from 10% to 5 faster supers on Prismatic. The scatter grenade in PvP reduced scatter grenade damage versus players by 15%. Hunters reduced PvP prey finding range from 45 to 25 and reduced PvP hunt time from infinite to 15 seconds. The lightning surge aspect can, clamp the variability of the lightning surge damage against players, slightly increase the minimum damage dealt and reduce the maximum damage dealt. Now, some global changes. Hunter and the Stasis and Withering Blade. The melee was underperforming in PvP and needed a PvE consistency buff, so it increases tracking strength by 20% and increases damage by 10%. All throwing knife melees. Fixed an issue where throwing knives were not tracking correctly. They should now track more consistently. The lightweight knife, as well as the solar melee, increase tracking shape size by 10% and increase in tracking strength by 20%. And the fan of knives increases tracking shape size by 15%. This accounts for both solar and prismatic version. On the prowl, the void aspect reduced prey finding cooldown from 0.5 seconds to 0.1 second, and ability energy is now granted instantly instead of over time. And once again, revisiting Lightning Surge, slightly increased the follow-up melee suppression time after Lightning Surge to match Shoulder Charge and other similar abilities. Now into weapons. Starting off the Legacy Frame, aka the Battle Rifle Frames. The Legacy Frame origin trait now reduces ADF's fall-off scalar by 0.1. This reduces Battler and S-Doc's ADS damage fall-off scalars from 1.7 to 1.6, matching high-impact pulse rifles. They also increase the BXR Battler's airborne effectiveness stat from 10 to 21. Now, more graphs as justification why, I guess, or justification for other things. Specifically, rapid-fire pulse rifles. They increase the base damage from 14.5 to 15, and increase precision damage from 27.6 to 27.8. Now, heavy burst hand cannons. They increased ADS damage fall-off scalar from 1.5 to 1.6, so I guess it has a little bit more range. The adaptive frame, specifically the Judgment hand cannon. Judgment will be returning with some hollow foil treatment during Ride of the 9. The magazine size has been increased from 9 to 11. The reload speed increased from 40 to 45, and handling from 42 to 55. A unique tweak for one specific gun. High impact frame auto rifles. They get increased base damage by 4%. In Crucible, body shot goes from 23 to 24, and critical hit goes from 41.4 to 43.2. Precision frame auto rifles, also similar, increased base damage by 3%, reduced the precision damage scalar slightly to offset this. That means body shot damage goes from 19.4 to 20, but crit hit damage goes from 33.95 to 34. Now, adaptive frame submachine guns, they get increased ADS damage fall-off scalar from 1.5 to 1.25. Then shotguns, heavy burst slug, there's still only one in the game. Increased damage by 8%. There you go. Now for some weapon perks. One Quiet Moment now has 2 stacks, one that activates after 1 second of being out of combat, 50% of the bonus, and the other at 2 seconds. That seems pointless. Alacrity now activates a reduced effectiveness whenever a teammate dies, reaches maximum effectiveness when 2 or more teammates are currently dead. Note description for both of these perks will be updated in a later release. Now specifically for weapons, exotic weapons of that type. Lord of Wolves, reduced hipfire damage in PvE by 30%. That is, of course, expected. Risk Winner, increased zoom from 13 to 14. Truth and Two-Tailed Fox, increases the amount of ammo picked up from ammo crates in Crucible from 1 to 2. Man, some big changes there. Alathanim, creates a special ammo brick will now only cost 50% energy. That actually makes sense. Reworded the Vestigial Alchemy trait to be a little less confusing, because if you don't know, with Alathanim, if you had full energy but only fired enough to be a special ammo brick, even though it only required 50%, it would still consume the whole amount of energy. So that is actually a good change. And Finality's Augur, a few things here. Increase the duration that a target is painted to match the duration of the turret. The environmental target marker now adds additional targets that enter the zone after its initial creation. Now grants an automatic reload from reserves when deploying a turret. Reduce the turret's self-damage by 85% and increases the turret's damage itself by 10%. Now into exotic armors. Radiant Dance Machines. Oh boy, another list of changes. Reduce the bonuses granted to primary weapons when hip-firing. Aligned the hip-fire bonuses to range and accuracy with the values granted by the hip-fire grip perk instead of the legacy frame intrinsic perk. They reduced the accuracy bonus for standard weapons by 60%. Reduced aim assist fall-off distance bonus by 60%. Further reduced the accuracy bonus for custom-tuned exotic weapons, including the last word, by additional 25%. As a note, based on the feedback we've received from mouse and keyboard users using last word in RDMs, or Radiant Dance Machines, we are looking into specific penalties for that input device down in a feature patch to make this weapon more usable without requiring an exotic. Although dodge uptime is already lower in Radiant Dance Machines, this is due to some other exotics. We want to reduce the class ability refund benefit just a bit in PvP. Reduce the amount of energy refunded for defeats against players when you do not have full class ability energy from 33% to 220 to align with this up tier of strategist perk. Now for Titans, Lion Rampant. Added the accuracy and range hipfire buffs from Radiant Dance Machines to Lion Rampants for primary ammo weapons only. These hipfire benefits are always active, not just when airborne. The plus 50% airborne effectiveness perk is now always active, not just when you're hipfiring while airborne. Interesting. I have a feeling this is going to be even more issues. Now, if it's in the nerf state, maybe that's okay, but if you're going to give literally every class a bonus airborne effectiveness, there's not going to be a damn person on the ground in Crucible. Now for Lunafaction Boots. Added the accuracy and range hipfire bonuses from Radiant Dance Machines to Lunafaction Boots for primary weapons only. This hipfire benefits are always active, not just when in a rift. Decreased the range bonus granted by the Empowering Rift by 50% in PvP, only to reduce occurrences of extremely long-range kills with short-range weapons like fusions and slugs. Then, 3 rewards coming with a future update. Let's see. I guess this is going to be the next season's weapons. Now, Iron Banner is getting the Nature Reclaimed Solar Lightweight Scout Rifle. Ideas of perks in Column 3 include Killing Wind, Outlaw, Heal Clip, Lone Wolf, Rapid Hit, and Shoot to Loot. In Column 4 are Desperate Measures, Kill Clip, Incandescent, Precision Instrument, Box Breathing, and Explosive Payload. As usual, Iron Banner origin traits as well. Then Trials of Osiris is getting the Return of the Inquisitor. In Arc Precision, Slug, Shotgun, Suros Foundry. Columns of perks include Envious Assassin, Lone Wolf, Offhand Strike, Loose Change, Perpetual Motion, Slide Shot, Threat Detector, and the other column, Bait and Switch, Closing Time, Cascade Point, Fragile Focus, Jolting Feedback, Opening Shots, Precision Instrument, and with Trials, Crucible, and Suros perks. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. I don't think people are exactly excited for weapons that have been back twice before, and just constantly refreshing the same weapons and pushing them back out. I don't think people are exactly excited for that. I'm not even a Crucible player, but if I was going to be hunting a third version of the Inquisitor, it's not exactly enticing, no matter how many good perks they can put on it. Then for Nightfall, we are getting Cruel Mercy, a Arc Heavy Burst Pulse Rifle from the Amalon Foundry. In Column 1, or Column 3, whatever you want to say, Dragonfly, Demolitionist, Eddy Current, 4th Time's the Charm, Keep Away, and Lone Wolf. With Column 4 being Jolting Feedback, Adrenaline Junkie, Headseeker, Frenzy, Kill Clip, and Desperado, with Nightfall, Vanguard, and Amalon origin traits. Now, they did mention some, well, there's a little bit here. First available on May 20th, or no, For Nature Reclaimed, the Scout Rifle, Iron Banner on May the 20th. For the Inquisitor and Cruel Mercy, trying something different with the duration of Right at the 9 until Edge of Fate. While both will be available at their respective vendors, they will also drop as additional rewards when you finish a Trials match or a Nightfall activity. Oh, that also counts. And also includes their Adept counterparts. Trials of Osiris will be back on May 13th for the first time after this update goes live, so winning on a 4-win streak can get you the featured reward, Aisha's Care Adept. Also, and the extra Inquisitor Adept to go with it. Same thing in Grandmaster Nightfall. Every Lotus Eater Adept you get for the week of May 6th, you will get a Cruel Mercy Adept. Have fun with extra loot. Now, that may just be an expansive thing during Right of the 9. They probably said that. Now, as well, there is, I'm not exactly sure how to say, but essentially Pacific Islander Heritage Month, in case you wish to participate. Bungie Foundation donations, in case you wish to actually earn that emblem. Cute little one. Now, the known issues list, and one that I feel like was the same last week, even the week before that. So, going through the ropes as usual. The Sunless Cell Grandmaster is not available in Fireteam Finder. Some bosses don't spawn in the Court of Blades, leading to soft lock. When speaking to a vendor, you can hear ambient dialogue. Ionic Sentry sometimes doesn't chain lightning. Steps 6 and 9 on Drowned Labyrinth quest aren't available to be completed. This is because of an issue between doing it on one character versus the account that started it. Sometimes the derealized exotic mission, the Taken Relic, can drop below the surface during the Veersic encounter. When damaging Shrieker bosses, you get yellow numbers even though it should be white numbers. When tracking Ikora's Drowned Labyrinth quest, completion of certain steps may stop progress to next steps. Sometimes the Tone of Want primer quest does not progress after meeting step 3 and 4 requirements. Memento shaders can be previewed on armor even though they're not coming to armor at all. The Honor of Hercules ornament's right boot is angled incorrectly, so the leather strap does not fit the boot. Seeking Filaments and Spirit of the Filaments can't grant Devour while Faceted Protection is equipped. I know it's probably just the actual thing they're doing, but man, it seems like they're only copying and pasting the known issues list, not even updating it or doing anything to fix these known issues. They have been here for like 6 weeks, and this has not changed. Barely at all. I'm not even joking. I swear it's been the same known issues for like the last 7 weeks. Now, with that is towards the end. We have Lion King. Okay, that's kind of cursed in the visual. I'm moving past a weird long ribbon. But then as well, there is Manda Guardian, somebody making a little Mandalorian cosplay, and Destiny. And with that, that's the end of This Week in Destiny. Some changes to the Sandbox are always expected and always kind of welcome, but I'm not going to lie. There isn't much that I'm inherently excited for. Then again, I'm not really excited for anything Destiny, period. But in terms of, like, updating exotics, nothing seemed like it was bringing underused things to the limelight. It just seemed to be entirely nerfing things that needed nerfing. Literally, the only perk I can recall after blitzing through that was that Risk Runner is getting a little bit more zoom. That's the only thing that actually stuck in my brain as anything that's actually changing that is a benefit. Everything else is kind of just not really there. Well, then there's the Lord of Wolves nerf. But, you know, Lathanim maybe had a lot of changes for Natalie Dogger, but that's also just after looking at it again. Again, the only thing that stuck in my mind was literally Risk Runner and getting more zoom. So there isn't much else in this TWID that was really worth paying attention to if you are not into Crucible changes for stats or otherwise. So with that, that is the end. I think I've already said that before, but I'm saying it again. It is the end of This Week in Destiny for May the 1st. Of course, Edge of Fate is in the future. I'm debating if I even watch it, let alone if I report on it, because, unfortunately, just to give a quick TLDR, the latest cutscene from the chest puzzle, it is leaving me incredibly underwhelmed and disappointed in Bungie's storytelling. Drifter telling us something is calling us out there. Guess what? We knew something was calling us back during Vesper's host when something reached through the portal and said, "Hello, world." They're really doing nothing to get us excited about Edge of Fate at all, in my opinion. At least for somebody that is not looking forward to Destiny, they have not given me something to look forward to again. With that, I will actually stop ranting, and I will see you in the next video.